Lay your body down, lay it on down. Class is about to start.
I like it. This is Gina. Welcome to Monday Night Mingle Radio, IntellectualRadio.com. I think he cued me in too fast, so sorry about that, everybody. How are you? Welcome to Intellectual Radio with your host, Gina Lamar Evans, on Monday Night Mingle Radio. I am still trying to get adjusted. I'm sorry. It's me. It's all me. So I was looking for my theme music, and I usually dance. Make sure that I said, welcome to Monday Night Mingle Radio on IntellectualRadio.com with your hostess, Gina Lamar Evans. How's everyone this evening? Be sure to call in to me because we will be talking about full disclosure. I'm trying something new today. As you know, every Monday at 7 a.m., I'm on Periscope doing the motivational Monday morning motivation. Then I'm on Fox every Monday doing the Mingling Minute. And at night, I'm on IntellectualRadio.com. So I want to own Mondays. And so go to MondayNightMingle.com so that you can have your connection to all of those sites. Gina Lamar Evans on Monday Night Mingle Radio and IntellectualRadio.com. So go to the sites. Anyway, I'm still all over the place. But today I'm trying something different. I wanted to make all three topics to disclosure. So what I wanted to be able to do was make sure that I kept it all the same. What I am going to do, though, is give us just a second. We got a couple things going on in studio, so we are going to get that straight. And then, so now I'm back. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. We're talking about so as I posted on the video, full disclosure, I'm on intellectualradio.com. Make sure that you tune in. Give me a call, 708-223-8953. And tell me what would like to disclose. So when we're talking about disclosure, today we were talking, and people are thinking, oh, we're talking about telling your HIV status, telling your STD status, telling somebody you're gay. No, full disclosure. Did you disclose those M&Ms on the IRS? Oh, girl, but you didn't tell that you guys had like all kind of rendezvous after you all kicked it. Full disclosure. Did you broke that 9 when you just let it stay broken for 7 months? You clearly weren't going to open it up. Disclosure. So that's what tonight's going to be. Disclosure. So what is it that you'd like to call and disclose? Please do not share anything on Monday Night Mingle Radio at intellectualradio.com that is going to make me have to testify in court. So don't call here disclosing about no bodies, Lucius. Don't call here talking about nothing that I can't handle. So we want some fun disclosure things. Kind of like, yeah, I kind of left out to my husband that he wasn't my first. I just let him think that he was. Full disclosure. Yeah, I think he kind of knew that if he got married at 50. I'm just saying. I think he knew. No, it wasn't. Anyway, those are a couple of the things that I just want to make sure that we're talking about. Hey, I feel like I'm lost. Which camera am I looking at? My producer is not on it. I've been looking at this all this time. Why would you have me looking at the wrong? You know what? I need a new producer. Yes. Can I see? I need a new producer on his show. That's right. I need a new producer because my producer had me looking at the wrong camera. I'm like, hey, everybody, this is Gina Intellectual Radio. Yeah, and I'm looking at all the wrong stuff. But now I'm good. That's because he's busy looking at other stuff instead of focusing on my making sure that I look thin. Yeah, never let me wear white again as I sit this close because clearly. Oh, did he just he can't fix that? What is really going on here? Coming light over together. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a minute. You're tuned in to Monday Night Mingle Radio on IntellectualRadio.com.
Lay your body down, lay it on down. Lay your body down, lay it on down. Lay your body down, lay it on down. Class is about to start. Call me Dr. 25. Here to teach you everything you need to learn, lady. Here's a quick way to get an ETA. And you ain't even gotta be the brother day. Me and you up in this room, yeah. Making all types of sounds, baby, you wanna hear you echo. Was my specialty, pleasing every part of me. You'll be my number one student, baby. I'll be your number one professor, honey. Just open up your heart and give it to me. I'll give you all the knowledge that you need. This is how you get it easy. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive you crazy, girl. Class is about to start, so step into my room so you can get it easy. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive you crazy, girl. Class is about to start.
Sitting at my crib, watching raindrops fall, thinking about that girl that I met in the hall. Pretty brown eyes, real cute smile, the kind of girl that drives a young man wild. Sitting in this class, daydreaming about you all day, the things that I will do to you in day. This is the kind of girl that gets an easy. Hey, 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 J. Will. You'll be my number one student, baby. I'll be your number one professor, honey. Please open up your heart and give it to me. I'll give you all the knowledge that you need.
This is how you get it easy. Hey, welcome to my sex knowledge base. Gonna show you drive you crazy, girl. Class is about to start, so step into my room so you can get it. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive crazy, girl. Class is about to start. She loves it when I'm hard on her every time I test her, cause I make it feel so good that she repeats the semester. I say, shorty, at this rate, you will never graduate. She say, boy, I'm not a fool, I make it up in summer school. She put in overtime when she let me hit it, cause she's trying to get that extra credit in and out of moving through your student body union. Won't you fill in the blank with my answer, girl? I understand you, girl. Wanna be the man in your world. You'll be my number one student, baby. I'll be your number one professor, honey. Please open up your heart.
Let the music go.
To me. I'll give you all the knowledge that
Come on.
you need. This is how you get it easy. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive you crazy, girl.
That's about to start. Okay, so cut my music, please. I like the way the rappers do that. Cut my mic. Okay, anyway, I am all over the place. I'm going to pull myself together. You just wait. This radio show is going to get so much better than it is tonight. I just feel like I'm all over the place and I'm trying to bring myself back. Probably because I'm going to disclose something really big at the end of the show. Maybe that's it. Yeah. So tonight's show is going to be on disclosure. Give me a call, 708-223-8953. 708-223-8953. Call me with something light to disclose, nothing too heavy. Nothing. Please don't share with your entire family that you got cancer on this show. And you ain't told them. Disclose them. I would do that. I would let you do that. I would even let you disclose on this show. But just let me know that it's coming. Don't call in at 708-223-8953 with something like that. That one I'm just not ready for. But, you know, if you have something else to disclose, please don't disclose that you're leaving your husband and your children. Like, yeah, hey, today you're gone. And like they were like, where's mom? She's not home from work yet. It's 7:30 because she done left and moved to Tahiti with Earl. Anyway, don't disclose something like that either. I just want some light, fun disclosures. Like, I ate the last of the potato chips. I never told him. Full disclosure when I let him spank the kids for the for eating those chips. Knowing I ate them. I don't know. Something fun. Something light and easy. So I want to talk. We always start the show thanking our sponsors. Let's definitely thank our sponsors. Give it up. Can I get some sound effects for my sponsors? Bedroom Candy by Kim Norwood. She always is bringing the fun, bringing the noise, making sure things happen. Okay, that was my sound effect. I'm going to give you my own clapper. Right. I love it. Is he hitting me? Really? I have my own sound effects that. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come up with my own. Like, I want to hear some whoosh-ah. Anyway, give it up for Bedroom Candy and 50 Pretty Panties. Always keeping Monday Night Mingle sexy, fun, spicy, interesting. So last week was Monday Night Mingle. I had Gregory saying, thank you, sit in for me. How'd you guys like them? Hope it went pretty good. We talked about marriage over 40. We talked about marriage over 40 at Monday Night Mingle as well. So we had it going on all circuits, trying to see if we could really keep this conversation going. I do think the most hopeful conversation or the most hopeful comment came from my girl, Vicky. Hey, Vicky, who said something like, hey, her husband didn't just get married. He just recently celebrated an anniversary. I was like, oh, great. She said, and he's over 50. And I said, oh, that's good. How old was the bride? See, that's the other thing. You're 52 and go get them a 25-year-old and blame it on their, what's it called? What's the reverse? What's the, I can't think of it. All of a sudden, the doggone words gone in my head about how you reverse the words. And my producer not helping me, clearly on some other stuff. Not paying any attention to the show, just none. At any rate, can't think of the word. It's going to come to me. Somebody text me what that is when you invert the words because they are the letters. What is happening with me? I know that. Dyslexia. Thank you very much. Dyslexia. Oh, I have a call on Monday Night Mingle Radio. Thank you for calling Monday Night Mingle Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. This is Gina, caller. State your name and where you're calling from. Ebony from Dallas. Hey, we got him in from Dallas. What's up, E.T.? Right. Okay, I should be saying all of your name. All right, so you're calling in to give me some full disclosure?
You want me to disclose something?
You can disclose one thing. Please do not disclose that you have locked the kids in the closet. That's not stuff. Anything that I have to mandate, I'm mandated to report. Please don't disclose where the bodies are, where I have to show up in court. But no, this tonight is about disclosure. Tonight's show, today's Mingling Minute, was all about disclosure. So I'm going to make a big disclosure at the end of the show. And I would like for you to give me something light and fun.
Something light and fun. Well, I was about HIV, so I, typically disclose. I'm public about my HIV status, so that's one thing. And I wanted to tell you, you did a great job in the mingling.
Oh, great!
And I'm sure you shocked a lot of people with the information that you gave because it's all very new information.
Yes.
And there is a lot of things going on with disclosure of HIV and STIs in the world of public health. So thank you so much.
Yeah, that's always fun. And let me just say this. I don't know if everybody knows, and I'm glad you're in Dallas talking about it, but I always like to remind people, don't try this all across the globe. Illinois has a disclosure status that says I don't have to tell my status as long as I use a condom. That's not the same for our neighboring states. Don't try that in Indiana. They still have criminalization laws. Iowa, Wisconsin, Missouri, all the states, Michigan, the states that border Illinois. So did you just share that you are open about your HIV status?
I did.
Oh, that's pretty big. That's pretty big. That's good. That's good stuff for the show. All right. So I appreciate you sharing your status, and so much. You share your status so much so that didn't you recently do on women and HIV?
I did. We did a research project about the care of women, treatment and care of women living with HIV. And because we want to improve the lives of women that live with HIV, we know that women who are in care, just people, period, that are in treatment and in care and seeing a doctor and are healthy, can live normal lives. So we want to make sure that that's happening specifically for women. And I work with women because I am a woman and I can relate better. But I work with all people. So all people who are, HIV positive, if they are in care, on treatment, taking care of themselves, they can live a very long and healthy life.
Ebony, I really appreciate you like sharing that. And let me tell you why. Because disclosure happens to be one of the hardest things ever. Like even just disclosing, and I say it all the time, when you have people who are willing to lie about chlamydia, which is easily treatable, right? So we watch it happen all the time. People come into the ED to urgent care. They get treated for chlamydia because they don't want to tell their partner, but then they get reinfected because they go back and have sex with that partner, just so busy trying not to say that it came from them. So I really have to honor and thank you for sharing your HIV status. I'm going to have you on the show the next time you're in Chicago. So there was better conversation about it because I do know how hard to disclose chlamydia. Like, so one last question for you though. Who was the hardest person to tell about your HIV status?
Once I became comfortable with talking about it, the hardest person to tell my HIV status still to this day, after I've done it multiple times, is someone who I'm trying to date or trying
intimate
with. That's always, even for me, and I'm very public about my status, that is always the hardest thing to do because people, humans, and rejected. Rejection is something hard to deal with. And there's a lot of other factors in it. It's always being that trying to be intimate with someone, that's the hardest person to tell. I can't even say it out of my mouth personally. I'm kind of glad that I'm public about it because I tell people to Google me because I can't even say it out of my mouth to them.
Wow. Now that is good information. Now I clearly said, call me with something light. And you done told me the good stuff. I cannot tell you, give it up. I need to have all my thanks. See, this is why I need my sound effects. This is why I need a big applause. Give it up for Ebony calling in for Dallas. Thank you so much for your call. I greatly appreciate it. Continue to tune in because I have a big disclosure at the end too. Maybe not as big as that one though. I think you might. I don't think you top me. And let me tell you, disclosure is just a show. Boom. Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye. All right. I didn't see that one coming. Not gonna lie. I always say, could you at least tell me when you're going to call in and tell your family and they don't know you got cancer? So, hey, Ebony, I forgot to ask. I sure hope she isn't trying to tell her new boyfriend she met yesterday via this show. Man, that would be good. Do you remember when that happened on that one show? That the person went back and they tried to kill them or something. Like, remember, is it Jenny Jones or something? Something about the sexuality thing. So you have to be, I often caution people while I tell people you have a right to disclose. What I also want to talk about is that you don't have to tell anybody anything. You don't. Now, I like the way Ebony said shares because she is positive and dating new people. But otherwise, she didn't have to tell anybody. And in the state of Illinois, if she uses a condom, she doesn't have to tell them that she is HIV. That's just how cold people with HIV are in the law. I totally missed that last message from you. I'm going to work on it, though. But I do like to say, and I really appreciate her calling in to share that. And because we often think of, and I would like for you to Google her. And I'm not sure if we just do Ebony Turk. Yeah, I think we can say just Ebony Turk, So we'll talk about that. And I'll make sure that I post after the show, like how to Google her. Because what I want you to see is how fly she is, right? I want you to see she's pretty, she's healthy, she's gorgeous, she's everything that you look for, black men look for in black women, right? They're like, oh, dang, look at that. And that's who she is. And she is still HIV positive. So I always like for people to see that, simply because we always confuse that with you looking emaciated, looking thin, looking sickly. And it just isn't the case anymore. People are living long, healthy lives with HIV, yet they are indeed positive. I always caution people when they're saying Magic Johnson is cured. I say, okay, please don't go have sex with him, because he is indeed positive. And right now he's virally suppressed. So therefore it's probably a little harder for him to spread the HIV, to transmit the HIV virus. But, he is indeed positive, and nothing is 100% but abstinence with a person who is HIV negative or HIV positive. So that's one of the things you look at. So the, one of the questions that came in is, what are the penalties if you don't tell? Well, when you say penalties, do you mean by the law? There's street code penalties that, oh man, she attempted to burn me and didn't. There are some domestic violence penalties, like some people who don't take responsibility for themselves and then want to try to murder the person. I get that all the time. We're doing HIV testing. Honey, don't worry. If this test is positive, I'm going to jail for murder. Why? Are you a victim or a volunteer? You know how HIV is spread. You know your husband keeps not coming home on Tuesday nights after his poker game. Maybe there's some other poking going on. Anyway, and then you contract the virus. Now, you've contracted gonorrhea, chlamydia, and syphilis a couple times. You all get that treated, yada, yada, yada. Nobody wants to talk about it. We don't ask your husband to use a condom, or a partner, or a live-in lover. Then it goes to HIV, right? Which is just natural, not the natural progression at all, but clearly a door that's open for the transmission of HIV are all of the STIs that I just named. And those things happen. So make sure that when you start crying victim, that, oh, he gave this to me, that you never even had the conversation with him when you got the chlamydia treated, when you got the gonorrhea treated. So those are the types of things. But back to what Ebony just said about disclosing to your partner. Absolutely. I appreciate I don't always. So I get that. The rejection is real and you don't want to disclose. And that's why I say, make sure it's somebody who's worth it. It's around disclose to somebody who just isn't even worth it. We take your time and get to know somebody. We now have fourth generation testing that can kind of look and tell the virus in the last 30 days. But for the last few years, we've always had this second and third generation HIV test, which says about 90 days of exposure, right? So if I tested you today, which is May 9th, happy birthday, Nicole Mallet. Hey, I got to text her later. If I tested you today, I'd say this test is only good for as far as your exposure from February 9th. So any sex you had up until February 9th, this test will pick it up, because it is now March, April, May, right? So it's 90 days. That's what the old test used to say. And there really is something to what Steve Harvey said about dating. Give it a few months. Give it 90 days, the 90-day rule, all of those things. Two things. He talked about people and behavior changes that happen in the 90 days. He talked about how corporations don't give you benefits for 90 days. Why are you giving benefits away before 90 days? But I used to be able to talk about in 90 days, that's about how long the incubation period, or that's how long a third generational test could show your HIV status. So if I met someone today, this test only shows up to what they did February 9th. So take it from May 9th until August 9th, and then see whether or not, test today, you have a negative result, test again August 9th, and then take the condom off. I'm not saying don't have sex. That's what people confuse all the time. Oh, I can't have sex. You're going to have sex. I appreciate Ebony calling and saying how, yes, I had sex. I'm going to have sex again. I am a young woman who still has a sexual appetite and deserves to have love and sex, right? She deserves to get busy like everybody else and probably still has the ability to, with or without sharing. So, one of the other questions about oral sex. And the question about oral is so vague because I'm like, what are you saying? Can you give oral sex? Can you receive oral sex when you're positive, when you're HIV positive, or can you contract HIV via oral sex? And I always say, I remind people, yes, you can. When I did the President's Day Mingling Minute, we talked about Bill Clinton, who said, I didn't have sexual relations with that girl. And, there's a Janet Jackson song that said, I didn't do her. She only gave me, head or something like that. So that sounds great. That sounds just like the quick and easy thing. Oh, I only let that happen. But that is a mode of transmission for HIV. Yes, oral sex can happen. There are portals in your mouth that allow the virus to be transmitted. So yes, you can contract the virus. So absolutely, people said, is there a safe way to have oral sex with someone who's HIV positive? There's sex with someone who's HIV positive. 1, know your status. 2, know their status. 3, use a condom if you're going to have oral sex. Use a condom if you're going to have vaginal or anal sex, like all of them. So there's something that people confuse with oral sex, thinking, yes, but there are portals in your mouth. HIV loves blood. So when you brush your teeth and your gums bleed, then yes, that is a portal for you to contract and or share the HIV virus if there is blood-to-blood contact. So there's something that happens that people always want to confuse it, and I like the way they ask it 17 times. Someone said, "Can I put a condom on my tongue?" No, not someone. I'm sorry, Earl. I have to share that. My producer asked me that. Yeah, I refuse to let that one go by and let a 12-year-old get credit for that one. I gotta give it to the 52-year-old. So this is the deal. You can't put a condom on your tongue. We do have condoms and we do have dental dams that you put across the vagina that will allow there to be no contact. There'd be a latex barrier in between the two. You definitely have that option, but there's no tongue condom. There's a finger condom, right? There's a finger condom because your cuticles are rough or whatever. There's a finger condom. There's a dental dam. There's an oral sex condom. So there are lots of different things that happen that you can do to protect yourself. I always say start with knowing your own status, though. I have some people who just refuse to get some people just refuse to get tested, right? They don't want to know their status. They're walking around thinking, I'm good. You're as good as your last sexual encounter. So if you got lucky last night, you're not good. You got about 30 days. We need to get you tested again. If you got lucky, and I'm saying had unprotected sex, period, unprotected sex. So it's called the dental dam for what you lay over the vagina. That's what's called for the oral sex for women. We have them all the time at Monday Night Mingle. They go out quickly, which is interesting because the women often say, quit passing out stuff. And I say, we're passing out condoms as well. Quit passing out stuff that's going to slow our sensation. You say, oh, okay, that's still a portal. We try not to have that too. I'm going to take 7:30. I'll be back. It's tuned into Monday Night Mingle Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. Give me a call after the break, 7223-8953.
Lay your body down, lay it on down.
Lay your body down.
Call me Dr. 25. I'm here to teach you everything you need to learn, lady. Here's a quick way to get an ETA. And you ain't even gotta be the brother day. Me and you up in home, yeah, making all types of sounds, baby. You wanna hear you go? It's my specialty, pleasing every part of me. You'll be my number one student, baby. I'll be your number one professor, honey. Just open up your heart and give it to me. I'll give you all the knowledge that you need. This is how you get it easy. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive you crazy, girl. Class is about to start, so step into my room so you can get her easy. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive you crazy, girl. Class is about to start.
Sitting at my crib, watching raindrops fall, thinking about that girl that I met in the hall. Pretty brown eyes, real cute smile, the kind of girl that drives a young man wild. Sitting in this class, daydreaming about you all day. The things that I will do to you in every way. This is the kind of girl that gets an easy A. Hey, hey, J. Will. You'll be my number one student, baby. I'll be your number one professor, honey. Just open up your heart and give it to me. I'll give you all the knowledge that you need.
This is how you get it easy. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive you crazy, girl. Class is about to start, so step into my room so you can get her easy. Hey, welcome to my sex college, baby. The things I'm gonna show you drive you crazy, girl. Class is about to start. She loves it when I'm hard on her every time I make it feel so good that she repeats the stuff. I say, shorty, at this rate, you will never graduate. She say, boy, I'm not.
Welcome back to Monday Night Mingle Radio on IntellectualRadio.com. I am your hostess, Gina Lamar Evans. Sorry about that. I got to be live 2 different places now. They got me doing this live thing. Just so you know, guys, I can't see any of your questions, so it would be great if you just simply dialed in 708-223-8953. I would love to hear from you. Again, we're talking about disclosure, right? So what I'd like for you to disclose is something light, fun. Who broke the vase? Who ate the last of the potato chips? Who left the toilet? Who took the last of the toilet paper and didn't renew the? Who stole Bill lunch? We'll talk about it at work. That's the kind of you off, and nobody want to disclose who did that. That's the kind of stuff that makes people put little X-lax in that next brownie you steal out of my lunch box. I'm just saying. So give me a call, 708-228-223-8953. But this earlier we had a woman call in from Dallas and disclose her HIV status on IntellectualRadio.com. Now let's be clear. I always say to people, don't let tonight's show be like your first disclose to your family that you're HIV cancer, or if you haven't told your wife and kids that you're leaving them for me because I'm sexy. I'm trying to find a sexy angle that would make you leave your wife. That clearly isn't happening. But anyway, I don't want you to call into intellectualradio.com and make a disclosure like that. And you're welcome to call in with a fake name. Now, if I figure it out, I'm definitely going to say, Earl, quit playing. You know this is you. Mingle has full disclosure policies that we just don't share anything, no matter how juicy it is, anymore. At any rate. Give me a call, 708-223-8953. I had a call in from Texas. I had a woman status with us and said the hardest part about disclosing is her to new partners, right? So that's an interesting concept. She said she asked partners to simply Google one chick on all of these shows when I think the football players' friends were trying to ask about, something about him, and she said, Google love it. I want to see, right? Look up Gina Lamar. Look up Monday Night Mingle. Look, find something. But her to be or that she met to Google her because she can't. She said she still can't say that I'm HIV positive out of her mouth to men. That's I think that is some really good disclosure. And I appreciate you. The next time you are in show, we may take this camera down to Dallas, Texas, and interview you and make sure that we can do this split camera and figure it out. But show for us to talk about that a little bit more because nobody likes rejection, right? So it's hard to tell people. I mean, it's got to be hard to tell people things about you. Hey, I'm unemployed right now. Well, I take that back because we had a question at Monday Night Minglers who are tuned in. Remember, should the unemployed date? And so all the men say, "I'm doing." It's just like, oh wow. So then that's a to disclose to someone that you don't have a job. Like you're okay with that. I dated a guy like for a full year. I like was like, oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Just the relationship ran its course. But according to my sister, she was like, got that job and left that man. That is not the case at all. I think the relationship had run its course by the time it just so happened. It did. That is not the case. That's not the case. I truly wish I'd had money to be able to share and pay a bill or help out. I do a mad Walmart run though. Although that's a whole nother show because I would get all of the toiletries that I liked. So like if you liked someone said send him something. I'm not sending him something now. That was years ago. The man is married, happy with kids, and on about his life now. But no, I really would make a mean Walmart run, but I would get the stuff that I like. So like if he like what's that? April was like, I don't use so I'll come home with like a bowl of Sky and make sure I opened it because then he's like, well, we're not going to be able, I'm not going to be able to take it back now. So we'd have Scott tissue for the next couple of months. Then I'd do it again in a couple of months because I could only afford to do things every couple of months. But anyway, so back to disclosure. I was sharing that, able to let us know that dating still gets to be the hardest thing. I talked about on the Mingling Minute this morning, we talked about disclosure and talking to your parents. I think if those of you who are Empire fans, I'm an Empire fan, but I love the way the character Cookie said to Jamal when he was a kid, she said, baby, you're special. I don't know it yet, but mama knows it. I thought that was a brilliant line because lots of times our parents know it. As a matter of fact, it's one of the things they do to push so hard to shame you out of it or try to not make sure that you don't acknowledge it or say it. But that's a whole nother show and we'll talk about that at a different time. So, Earl, I need you to keep I'm using it live for Facebook. On live, although I do have a really big disclosure at the end that I'm going to share. It's big. It's huge. Yeah, it's major. At least it is for me. So back to disclosure. Want to make sure that we have the knowledge for the state of Illinois, HIV positive. I want to wonder, I have to check with that. I got to check with my source, Ann Hilton Fisher. You know who you are. At any rate, with AIDS legal counsel now, I really want to check and see STIs are. I think that's the Sexuality Act. So you don't have to disclose your gonorrhea, chlamydia, syphilis. Our newest thing that we are running up on, we had new cases of meningitis. So that's major, some major cases of meningitis here in the city of Chicago, state of Illinois, which are major, but we're going to have somebody on to actually talk about that. Oh, I was told to quit smacking. I think I smack too much. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate that. notice that message again, but it just popped in my head. So I'm going to try not to smack. I'm going to try to enunciate my words, all the things I learned at the John Robert Power School of Drama. Yeah. Anyway, back to disclosure. As we were talking about it earlier, and lots of questions come in through the Facebook page, go to MondayNightMingle.com, leave a message. It does not show any of your information. I don't necessarily have to see where you're calling from or anything unless you want to. But one of the things that people talk about with disclosure is when you disclose or who you have to tell. So, do you have to tell your employer? No, you do not, unless you are in a position that puts you in having direct patient contact. If you're a dentist, if you are a surgeon, there's blood contact. Yes, there may be some disclosure there, but always look at it in a case-by-case basis. We did have someone who said they worked in a hospital. One of my patients who said, hey, I work in a hospital now. Do I have to? And I said, no, not unless you are doing anything else with the patient, because right now, if you're doing housekeeping or you're the electrician at the hospital, you're not having direct patient contact, and so you don't have to share with your employer. So those are the types of things they're saying. At one point, the law principal, unfortunately, to all my principals, all my educators, love you to death, but you would swear 3 best friends to secrecy. They would swear their next 3 best friends to secrecy, and before you know it, the entire school knew a kid's status. So there is something now that we're looking at. Superintendents have to know, and that's just for numbers. I love talking about statuses and when the kids would put the entire notice on saying, oh yeah, all of this whole school got heard about it, they said about it. And I always say when I'm presenting or speaking somewhere and people say, I saw it after there's Terry and Kathy. One, if she sees it on the internet, it's true. The other one, if she sees it on TMZ, it's true. But I do stand by, I cannot confirm or deny anything you read on the internet. Because on the internet, smaller than I act, I only post the pictures with the filters and the angles. So anyway, I'm not 4 sizes. Wait, what just happened? Did somebody just say not quite 4 sizes? Really? Okay, fine, at least 1 size. But you just wait. So no, you don't have to disclose that. And the schools, when they're saying, I read it on the internet, this one guy gave 150 girls HIV, and he got on the internet and he said it, and you're going, that's some video that went viral because people we love the drama. We also love the negative stuff. No one really wants to talk about how the HIV positive person is living a long, healthy life, having relationships, getting married, doing, great things in Congress, in the Senate, in radio, right? All of these things that are happening. So those are the types of things that you're talking about disclosure, but it doesn't always have to be about HIV. One of the things that some people have found really hard is that status, right? Some people are struggling. People have a lot of things going on. And I'll never forget it as a little girl, a neighbor lost their house. And my father was kind of angry about it. And I was just kind of like, why is he so mad about Ms. Johnson losing her house or whatever? But he said you have to say something, because back in the day, and he's part of the Black Panther Party, we didn't allow each other to get put out. We just didn't do it. We would make sure that we threw a rent party and helped whomever out to make sure the landlord didn't come and sit their things out on the street. I have seen a child set out in the street, and it was so heartbreaking to watch those kids walk up from school. The mother, I think, didn't recognize it, because I think the bigger thing would be to protect your child from being set out. And then some of the horror stories I've heard over the years and working with families about being set out on the street, and to have your kids walk up and to see people rummaging through your things or picking up your doll or doing whatever, taking your toys off the street, or just to see your toys sitting on the street, and then you have to try to play it off because everybody else in the neighborhood knows it. So disclosure, financial disclosure is interesting. I love my I don't want to say ghetto shows because I like those shows all the time. I like a show that I don't want to, but shows that he told me he had all this money and he didn't have all of this money. He told me all of these things that just aren't the case. So financial disclosure is a big thing. Health disclosure. We talk about HIV, but do you really want to talk about the erectile dysfunction? I'm just saying. You're going to have to cut that off, Earl. My phone is going down. So would you please take care of that for me? My super producers handle it. But in the next few minutes, give me a call. Close out this show. You can just cut it off. You can close this show out with one more disclosure. Nothing major, something really simple, like you ate the last of the chocolate chip cookies. You could go ahead and say that. And you can go ahead and say that, you ate the last of the chocolate chip cookies in the house, so that, you can quit blaming things on your 5-year-old nephew. It happened, I'm just saying. But as we talk about disclosure, I want to make sure that we're talking about everything. We talk about HIV. We want to make sure that we want to villainize people with HIV. But as long as we are having real conversations, when was the last time you disclosed your weight? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to see, people don't disclose that. So that's what, as we are rounding up the show, I am going to do my full disclosure. And my disclosure is huge for me. And huge literally and figuratively. Figuratively first and literally. I am disclosing on this show, which someone told me never do. Don't put it on social media. Don't put it in the public. But I'm disclosing I hit 186 pounds. I am as big as I have ever been in my entire life. And shame to all of my Facebook friends and all of my real friends for letting me get this big. Disclosing this May 9th, 2016, that I have got to get this weight off me. So the next triple cheeseburger you see me with, okay, I didn't say slap it out of my hand. Man, he just did the whole tennis slap, did a Serena slam on me, right? So no, I'm not going to slap it. Do not slap it out of my hand, but definitely try to encourage me, because I am going to be working really, really hard to get this 186 pounds off me. I don't know where it came from. Life has been really, really good, and I really want to do it. So I am going to be doing that. So that's my full disclosure. That's what I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to look at. I'm going to be wrapping up the show. And I want to talk about, if you didn't want to call into the radio show at 708-223-8953, you want to call into Monday Night Mingle Radio and do a disclosure, that's fine. But if you have someone in your family that you need to share something with them, if you need to disclose you were wrong about something, that you said something or did something that was hurtful, that was wrong, use today. Hey, you heard about disclosure. You talked about it, and today might be the day when people have called into the radio show and disclosed their HIV status. You good if you just disclose that, you lied about something. You didn't pay a bill. You didn't do something you were supposed to do. You lied about where you were last Saturday night. You cheated. You didn't have sexual relations. I'm going to do my Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. But you didn't have sexual relations with someone, but that you definitely, that you definitely cheated, or just had an emotional conversation. Like, people confuse that internet talking, that I talk to somebody every single day, every morning. I disclose some things to them. I share with them about our financial status, all of those things. People don't want to hear that. No man wants to hear that you have been telling another man that the light bill is in jeopardy of being cut off at your house. Like, that's not one of the things people want to hear. It's like, I just needed somebody to talk to. Try talking to your mate. Disclose that to your mate. If there's something you need to disclose, and you still have a mother, disclose it to your mother. Most of the time, she already knew. When you decide to say, hey, I just want to disclose that I actually, did go out when I was 15 and I drank and I got drunk, and, the police had to bring me home and I blamed it on someone else. You disclose that, you can share that too. As a matter of fact, use today to do it, because today is the day to tell the good stuff when you're saying, well, at least I didn't have to call in and disclose my HIV status or something. No, not that at least you didn't. Clearly that was said poorly. Didn't mean it like that. But you can say that it's different because you take HIV and put it on this high pedestal or something like that. You take HIV and put it there. But I really want to thank my listener who called in and shared her HIV status with us. And I like her thing on Google Me. We're going to talk a little bit more about that when I have her on the show, about how you tell your new partner to Google you. Because the other part of that is she's fully open to the public about it. So they'll open up and see her campaigns and see her on billboards and posters. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But thank you so much for tuning in as we talked about disclosure. Give me some feedback at mondaynightmingle.com on how you like going from the Periscope to the Fox moment to intellectual radio on all the same topic. That's what I'm going to start thinking about now. You're now tuned in to, or I'm signing off for tonight, and I will see you next week. This is Gina Lamar Evans on IntellectualRadio.com. Next, we have the amazing Maze Jackson with What Maze Said, because Maze be saying a whole bunch of stuff. You think I say stuff? Tune in to Maze Said next on IntellectualRadio.com. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Me and you up in this room, yeah, making all types of sounds, baby. You wanna hear you echo? It's my specialty, pleasing every part of me. You'll be my number one student, baby. I'll be your number one professor, honey. Please open up your heart and give it to me.